Well, we're back for chapter 2 of Esther.
That's all?
Yep. It's some discussion.
Just chapter 2?
A few more, depending on how much time that takes.
Oh, okay. So we're really trying to dive in, huh?
Yep.
All right. So where do you want to start?
Chapter 2.
Where is Esther? It's somewhere in the Bible.
It's in the New Testament.
How do you find out where Esther is?
It's in the New Testament.
Do you use the table of contents?
No, just flip through till I see Esther.
Is that what you do? Okay. Well, I've done this.
That's like you're an avid Bible reader.
Hey, well, all I keep hearing right now is the cat. All right, 435. There's nothing wrong with using the table of contents. That's why it's
Aren't
there.
you in seminary at school?
I am, and I can't use the table of contents.
I thought you would have memorized.
That's why it's there.
Okay. Chapter 2. Esther made queen. So, would you like to do a little summary of this chapter?
Why don't you go ahead?
Well, I did it last time, so I feel like they want to hear you.
What? Oh, you want to take turns?
Yeah, just... Yep.
Cat. She's whining. All right, Esther 2. Esther made queen. You know, one thing you can do is just read that Bible have like subheadings for the chapter. Okay, that's one way of doing it. A summary. Read the little subheadings, and then you can kind of have a summary of the chapter.
Yeah, we're not just reading 3 words.
That's all you have? Because mine says Esther made queen. Mordecai uncovers a conspiracy. What does that Bible say?
Yeah, both.
Oh. What? Is that NIV today?
I don't know.
You don't know what translation that is? This is NIV. Yep, NIV. Okay. So, the last time we had a different translation. So, today we have the same.
Should we do a different one? Let's see.
No, it's fine.
Okay.
So, what do you want to say about Esther 2? You wanted me to do a summary, but I think people like hearing your summaries.
How do you know that?
Why not? You're a teenager reading the Bible.
Esther Made Queen is about, well, it's just that. So King Xerxes, remember last chapter, he deposed his other queen, Queen Vashti, and he put out a decree.
And why did he do that?
She refused to come before him.
Okay.
With her crown.
So she lost her job and her crown. Yeah, her role. She lost it. She's out.
I don't call it job.
What would you call it then?
Well, I'll get into that. Esther Made Queen. So King Xerxes is now putting out a search for all the beautiful young virgins. And then they'll be brought to Susa and placed under the care of Haggai, the king's eunuch. So will be there for a year.
Okay, hold on. Are you just gonna read that, or what are you doing?
This is a summary.
Okay, but so he's looking for a beautiful young virgin.
I feel like that's, so he's just picking them because of their pretty faces and not because they make a good queen.
Yeah, that's what it seems like.
Unfortunate.
Do you think that's a bad way of choosing a queen?
Absolutely.
Well, he seemed to like the idea.
Of course he liked the idea. Harem of young. Okay. So, and then it just says, let the young woman who pleases the king be queen instead of Vashti.
And then you say something about 1 year?
Yes.
What happened for a year?
They have to undergo a year of beauty treatments before they can even see the king.
Wow. So they're already chosen because they are beautiful. And even on top of that, they have to go through a whole year of beauty treatments.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Best food.
Wow.
So
there's hope then for the rest of us.
I'm glad things are not how they are back then.
What do you mean?
There are no kings in this country.
Well, okay. In our country.
Yes.
Yeah, we don't have a king.
The closest thing we have to someone telling us what we can and can't do is the army. So.
Is the army?
Yeah.
Is that what you said?
Yeah. Only they can tell us what we can and can't do. The rest of it is kind of our life.
Wait, so the army tells you what you can and can't do?
They have the power to draft people, so that's the closest they can come to forcing people to do something. That's what I mean. In our country, because we're very free,
Okay.
Freedom to do a lot of things.
Okay. It's not really the army though, making that call.
The government.
Yeah. Okay. So we have a government in place that kind of
This is not related
steps
to
in
the
every now and then. But okay. But there's nothing wrong with looking at, remember this is at their this area, this culture, their ways. Yeah, so you're comparing it to kind of like what we do here. So okay. So go on.
Here it says, the method of procuring a queen is unprecedented in the ancient world. Usually the queen was of noble rank, chosen for family or political connections, not simply for her beauty. But that does not rule out the possibility that a beautiful woman might catch the king's eye and rise to a position of power, as in the case of Bathsheba, wife of King David. Interesting.
Yeah, but I just got to say something about that commentary. So what do you think about, first before I say what I was about to say, off of what you just read?
Like it.
Well, something stirred me when you said that. So let's just state what you're reading though. What is this book that you're reading from?
Esther?
Yeah, but I'm talking about this actual book.
What? The Bible.
Yeah, it's the Bible, Malin. But you just read something there. What is that? Is that in the Bible?
You don't like this because it is not the Bible's words. It's
No.
someone who has their own ideas.
That's not.
Who has their own ideas about things.
That's fine that you can read other people's words, but we need to say what it is, right? What is that? You know what that's called? Commentary. That's right. And who wrote this commentary? Okay. Yes, but remember, Malin, we're recording this, putting it out in case someone's interested in reading more about this commentary. Okay. What are you reading? Remember how last time I showed references? What is this?
Cultural background study Bible.
Okay, hold it up. Let's show. Right. So speak up. Nobody can hear you.
Hang on.
Yeah, Zondervan. Right. No, that's good enough. Right there.
That's not their names.
But you can find it from this, what you just shared. Right there.
That doesn't have a cover.
Well, that's because this looks nicer, doesn't it? Okay, so.
Okay.
You gonna show?
They're not gonna want to read this giant thing. This is expensive.
It's a study Bible. That's why it's big. And it's the what'd you say? NIV
Study Bible.
NIV Cultural Background Study Bible by Zondervan. Okay, so just to name your reference, right? So you said that for that particular verse, it said it gave a comment about how queens are chosen.
Yes.
Right? And what did it say? Read that last part again.
A beautiful woman might catch king's eye and rise to a position of power, as in the case of Bathsheba, wife of King David.
Okay, so what does that say to you?
In this case, they were only chosen for their beauty, but usually they're chosen because they're noble rank.
Mm-hmm. But no, I mean that comment about Bathsheba. Do you remember that?
I don't know much about Bathsheba. Wasn't she the one who was bathing on the roof?
Yeah.
There's a song on that, Hallelujah.
Okay.
And then King David saw her and kept going to her and asking if she would be his wife. Is that what happened? Where is that?
No, well, okay, but my okay, let's stick to what this says.
I just want to make sure what I'm saying is right.
Yeah, King David was involved. She was bathing on a roof. Yes.
Who does that?
Well, she did at that time. I think it was her time of the month.
Well, why would you bathe on the roof?
Again, wait a minute, Malin. Remember, this is a different culture. Right? We have a bathtub with a door and a lock on it, right? Remember, when I was in Cambodia, they didn't have bathtubs where I was in the village, right? They had well, I'm not laughing. I'm just saying it's so different than what we're used to. They had a bucket and then you pour the water on you. You know, you use the water,
Yeah, I know.
pour it on you, and where did they get that water? Well, they had a pump system where it would go up the stairs into this container, which they had rocks in it in order to like kind of filter it a little. And that is the water that we used. And it was not heated or anything. Like, it's just totally different than what you and I are used to. And then there's mosquitoes. So you have to time when you do that because mosquitoes come out. But anyway, so yeah, you have legit questions. Why was she bathing on a roof? People are seeing her. But that's like a different story. What caught my eye about the way that was written or how you read it or something about it, it kind of made it seem like that Bathsheba was vying for a position of power, and so therefore she used her beauty in order to get it.
No, it said they might catch the king's eye.
Okay,
so they just
and then
see a beautiful woman.
Okay, and then but what did it say after that though?
And rise to the position of power.
And rise to a position of power.
It's because the king fancied her, and then he.
Do you know what happened in that story? You have got to read it, Madeline. I don't want to go into another. No. Okay, here's for you and for you. The story of Bathsheba, right? This says, yeah, indeed, she caught the king's eye, and indeed she rose to a position of power, but what happened there in the middle of that? That's a question that we're not gonna. Huh?
It's pretty obvious.
What's obvious?
How she rose to power.
How did she rise to power?
He thought she was beautiful, and he married her, and then she is now the king's wife, which puts her automatically in a position of power.
Please, this is like a drama story.
All right.
No, we're doing Esther.
But you said it didn't. It's okay if. We get a little off track.
I'm hungry and it's dinner time and I need to make dinner. Seriously.
I thought we were going to set aside time for this Bible talk.
Okay,
what happened? Why are you trying to rush?
No, I'm just saying we're not going to be able to get through chapters 2 through 5 because there's nothing wrong with it. Okay, I feel it. Go ahead.
You guys had script.
Go ahead. Find it. So how would you go about doing that? Is it in David?
Yes.
Is there a book of the Bible called David?
Yeah. Right. Is there? There is. Right?
Oh, you know what? Are you looking for the table of contents? That's great, Madeline. Oh, so yeah, find where David is.
There's a Daniel.
There is a Daniel.
I'll find it later.
Oh, now you want to find it later. Tell you what, your phone's right there. This is what I would do, Madeline. Let me tell you my method, right? Because we're not going to memorize everything that's in the Bible and the address of where it is. Some of us do.
You're a scholar, aren't you?
Yeah. And you know what I would do? I'm going to tell you what I would do. I would go and use the internet and I type in what I do know. Okay. What keywords are you typing in? What keywords?
David and Bathsheba story.
Okay,
Bible.
so she found it. So, I would type in what I know, and then I look through what they give me to find what I'm looking for, and then I would go to the Bible and read it all in the fullness. No, where is it? And so people can know where you're reading it from.
2 Samuel chapter 11.
Where? Okay, turn in here. Use this. Just use that as a reference. Open up your word. Look in 2 Samuel chapter 11. And you know what? I'll turn to it too. Yeah, I just did because I'm already in 2 Samuel. 2 Samuel chapter 11. And you know what? Remember how I said about the little subheadings? In this particular Bible, it just has one subheading for that chapter. David and Bathsheba. It's one chapter. Found it? What are you doing?
There was a lot of stuff in the study Bible. There's like a whole 2 pages full of like pictures and stuff. Okay, so David and Bathsheba.
Are you about to read this whole thing?
No, I'm gonna summarize.
Well, how can you summarize? You haven't even read it.
Because because I can skim read insanely
Okay.
fast.
Well, the main part of what you're looking for is the beginning. So just read. Just go ahead and read.
Read or summarize? I thought you were in a hurry.
Well, I think we're just gonna do this chapter, and then because the cat's like
One
meowing.
evening, David got up from his bed and walked around on the roof of the palace. From the roof, he saw a woman bathing.
What are you doing?
Notes. It said, it is generally assumed that Bathsheba was in full view of the king, and therefore some worry about her intention or discretion. Like I said.
Okay, wait,
However,
hold on. Wait a minute. Hold on. What you're doing right now is you're reading the commentary.
Okay, I'll read the thing first.
Hold
I'll
on.
read
No,
the text first.
I want to talk to you about something because I think this is important. You're reading the commentary. Well, first you were reading the Bible and then you read the commentary. And you haven't even read the whole Bible story yet. Hold on. Let me ask you a question. Why am I saying? Why are we stopping to talk about this? What's your thought?
Because we're talking about why Esther was chosen.
Yeah, right. That's not okay. So, but now we're talking about David and Bathsheba. You were starting to read it, and then you cut over to read the commentary. Why am I saying something about that?
Yes, you don't want to do that. You only read the real word first. Why though? And not someone else's thing in place in the Bible.
Yes. Because what is a commentary?
It's an add-on. It's extra information. It's someone else's words interpretation.
Right. It's you know, one could say commentary is like chewed up meat.
How? That's not even a saying.
No, seriously. This is the meat, right? The actual scripture itself is meat, right? Or bread, right? Sure, bread. This is bread. Imagine taking a piece of bread, putting it in your mouth, chewing on it.
You don't have to explain this.
Get a little bit of moisture on there and chew on, and then take it out and put it back, right? Right? That's what somebody else sort of came.
The woman was very beautiful, and David sent someone to find out about her. The man said she was Bathsheba, the daughter of Eliam, the wife of Uriah the Hittite. And David sent messengers to get her. She came to him, and he slept with her. So he just said,
what?
Yup. He just said, "Come here. I saw you bathing. You're pretty pretty.
Okay.
Pretty beautiful, and I'm gonna sleep with you now." So.
All right, and then
later she said, "I'm pregnant." So that's how she rose to power. She had the king's baby, so, you know.
See, this is a problem today. You think you just summed it up and that's that.
That's what it says.
No, that's what a part of it says. That's just like me saying, oh, I know who Madeline is. She's the one with the glasses that walks around not talking to anybody. Like, yeah, that's true, but it's not all of you, right? Because nobody's got
the entire chapter.
I'm saying that in order to know the whole you got to spend some more time with that. You just can't make a snap judgment, right? That's what you just did. Because you said, I read the first three sentences. I know what it is. That's how she rose to power and became queen, or whatever.
I just read the facts in the Bible. I didn't add my own commentary.
But what I'm saying is it not a fact that you wear glasses? Yes. Is it not a fact that you prefer not to talk to people?
But if a person
is it a fact?
Madeline wears glasses and she prefers not to talk to people. That's a fact.
Okay, that's what I'm saying.
That's what I was saying.
Right. But is that all of who you are?
I didn't say that was the whole story.
Yes, you did. You said.
I said that's how she rose to power.
But
the rest of the story is about him killing her husband so he can be with her. But that doesn't really. It doesn't say much more about her.
Wait a minute. But Madeline, this is my point. So I didn't even know that you knew that he killed her husband.
Yeah.
So that means she was already married.
Yes.
So did she have a choice in sleeping with the king or not?
No.
So, but she rose to power almost makes it seem, it could make it seem like, oh, this was her plan all along. I'm just gonna bathe on.
Well, that's why you should read the whole Bible first before looking at commentary. Well, so you know what it's referring to, what stories, like David and Bathsheba. Oh, I know that this and this happened, and she didn't actually have a choice in this. And so you know that rising to power doesn't mean, even though it sounds as a negative connotation, it wasn't her really a choice.
Okay, I just want it didn't say that in the comment that you read, and it could lead some people to think, oh, that's how she made it. That's how she got that position. Oh, she just looked good and slept with whoever, and that's how she got there.
Well, she did look good. That's how she caught David's attention.
Okay, but again, that comment, it kind of makes it seem like it's her fault that she looked good. It's her fault that she caught this person's attention.
It's
and that
nobody's
he
choice
took over.
of how they look. They just look. The woman was very beautiful. That's how she was.
Okay.
You can't really change that.
I'm not saying it, but the consequences of what happened were in direct response to how she
Nobody's blaming her for anything. We're just saying the catalyst to all this was that David saw a beautiful woman. Right?
And
it was the fact that she looked good that all this other stuff happened. She caught his eye.
Okay, but I think in saying that truth, which is true, you're right, it was the catalyst in a way, but the actions that happened after that were it wasn't her fault.
I wasn't claiming that.
I mean, I do you know that though?
Yes.
Because like this commentary said, it said something about, people have disagreement, like there's disagreement about why was she even on the roof making any, like you asked, he was like, who's on the roof bathing, like why, right? That question is out there, and I think it's important to, while stating facts, name that. How can she refuse the king? But I guess in this way, going back to Esther, Queen Vashti refused the king. I wonder how she was able to do that.
Well,
is it because she had power herself as queen, or
she just refused? Anyone can refuse anything. That doesn't mean there won't be consequences. And that's what happened to her, because she was in a position of power.
That's important what you just said. Anyone can refuse anything, but that doesn't mean that there won't be consequences. Yeah. Okay. And the consequences of going back to Esther, right? Consequences of her actions were she lost her role.
Yep.
And crown. The consequences of Bathsheba's lack of refusal, right? Because she chose not to refuse, I guess. Yeah. But at least it didn't do it. Anyway, there's no story in here of her refusing, so the consequences of that was what? She got pregnant, yeah, and her husband ended up being killed. He didn't die.
He got killed.
He was murdered,
Yeah. Well, David got rebuked later.
Oh, that makes it okay.
No, I'm just saying he had consequences too.
True. Right. Everybody, that his action of saying, I want that, caused a ripple effect of consequences that affected all these people around him. Mm-hmm. Wow. I wonder, have you ever thought about that? Like the actions of your choices causing a rippling effect of the people around you?
Of course it does.
Yeah, but do people think about that at the time that they're making whatever choice? Like, I want that. I want that. Some people do. Some people don't. Some people aren't aware of how this affects others. They're just, I just want that. I want that. Okay. To chapter 2.
Yeah,
we're going back to Esther chapter 2. Where are we at, basically?
I have no idea.
Okay. Well, so we talked about the all of these people, the beautiful young virgins that were chosen, taken. You know what? I don't even know if they were taken from these providences, because it says, "Let the king appoint commissioners in every province to
Let a
bring
search be
all
made
these right. So,
to bring them.
but I don't know if they were like willing participants or if they kind of just got you.
So, do you want to ignore the commentary here, or just take it with a grain of salt?
I don't think there's anything wrong with commentary. It's just, first of all, say it is commentary, and second of all, maybe there's nothing wrong with it. It's just that maybe just know that it's somebody else's reflections and thoughts and tidbits that stood out to them. Just know that when you read it. That's all. I don't have anything against commentary, except it can add more things to think about. It's like reading it in community with somebody else. Reading a word in community by involving commentary from various people to hear what their thoughts are about this text. So I'm curious to hear what your thoughts are about what the rest of chapter 2.
I don't think that they had a choice, because later, well, it says in the context, they would not be able to return to their homes. They would all become wives of the king, even if only of concubine status. So they were kind of like his wives, but Esther was kind of the face of the kingdom, I guess. So they couldn't leave. They were there just as his courts. Yep. Wonder how many there were. Doesn't say how many.
It doesn't say how many, but it does say let there be commissioners in every province. And earlier, last time we talked about this, we said, so I don't know if that's one per province, but there was certainly somebody in every province looking. So at least probably over 100 people, maybe. That's maybe, I don't know. So. Okay, what else in chapter 2 stood out to you? I mean, there's a lot in here, but just where are we at now with time? We're at 30 minutes. So, okay, well, they introduce a big character in the book of Esther, right?
Mm-hmm.
Mordecai,
yes. Mordecai was Esther's cousins. I thought he was like her. Mordecai had a cousin named Hadassah, whom he brought up because she had neither father nor mother.
So that says cousin. So and here it says that he.
It says when the term came for Esther, the young woman Mordecai had adopted, the daughter of his uncle Abigail.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought he was like her father or something.
No, she has no father or mother.
Yeah,
the text says.
Cousins.
So adopted father.
How can you
foster
adopt your
father?
Cousin? That's what I wasn't sure.
Well, I don't know. I'm using that term, adopted father.
Well, it says adopted in the Bible.
It says adopted?
Yes. The young woman Mordecai had adopted.
Where?
Verse 15. What was yours?
Yeah, well, it also uses the word adopted, but again, we're using the same translation of NIV. And just to look this up, remember the Bible wasn't written in English, so it's gonna have different.
Maybe it means it can mean adopted, like he just taking care of her, taking her in, and giving her care.
Yeah, he did take care of her. Esther 2:15 in this ESV translation says, is it 2:15? Well, this doesn't use that word. It says, who had taken her as his own daughter.
As a daughter. So that made me wonder.
As his own daughter. So, right.
So that's why I was under the impression earlier that he was some kind of father figure.
Yes. That's what adoption is.
Yeah, but it's his cousin. So I was like...
Yeah, maybe technically he's her cousin, but he's taking care of her like he's father.
Okay, I get.
How does that not work? Madam, remember,
Because, like,
we had people in our home, right? So you could say we were their adopted family.
who?
The people we had in our home. You know, when we were doing respite foster care.
Oh.
Right? So maybe you didn't think about it.
But I wouldn't call myself their mother.
No,
that
but
sounds
you
weird.
might if we indeed went through if we indeed were together longer, you might refer to yourself as to someone when you're introducing
As a sister.
people
Yeah, I would be like,
you would
this
say
is my brother, this is my sister.
brother, sister, or adopted brother and sister.
Yeah, but I wouldn't call myself their mother. That's weird.
He never called himself her father.
Yeah, but didn't it say there fatherly kind of like there?
No, it said who had taken her as his own daughter.
Daughter, right?
But Madeline, that just okay. Maybe because you don't have children.
No, I think it's just
It's
the
like
language of back then. It's just
no,
because I thought for equals in the Bible they use the word brother or sister, even if they're not related. They'd be like brothers and sisters gather, whatever.
Sure, but remember, I think this is simple, but
it is simple.
Meaning.
It's just,
so my brother used to live with another family when he was growing up. For a period of time, and so he would call her, the mom of his best friend whose house he was at. He would call her mom sometimes.
Yeah, seems normal.
So she might refer to him as, like my son.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like this.
But they're not. Whatever, it's not a big deal. Okay.
Well, you can see how he was worrying about how she was doing and everything, right?
Yes, you would pace at the gate every single day.
Yeah.
To find out how she was doing.
Yeah.
So we can infer that he cared a lot about her well.
Yeah.
Why did it get so much dark?
Oh, because I mistakenly pressed this thing. Anyway, go on.
Another thing that was interesting was when after the year of beauty treatments, the woman would go to the king and present herself, come before him, and bring anything she wanted, which was interesting because Esther brought only what Haggai suggested, which they never named the object or whatever it is.
Maybe because that wasn't the point. Yeah. Okay, so why does that stand out to you?
Well, it never mentioned the item.
Oh, so you're curious about the item?
Yeah. Was it a symbol of something? Or was her symbol like I'm humble, and that's why you chose her? I don't know. Maybe it's just that she.
Remember, each person got to choose something and bring it in with them.
Yeah. So, but it just said he was attracted to Esther more than any other woman. So.
Okay, well, I think that what you pointed out though before that about the fact that each person was able to choose something and bring it in with them when they went into the king, and so, but Esther chose what someone else, the person in charge of her, kind of suggested that she would bring, and in the Bible, it seems like to me it specifically talked about that she only brought what that was, that item, which
nothing
pleased,
other than what.
Right, and then after that it said her choice pleased the person that was in charge of her. Like everything she did,
Esther won the favor of everyone who saw her.
Right, favor of Mordecai because he told her to hide her nationality, and the favor of this dude that's in charge of all of them, He wanted her favor because she listened to what he had to say. So you kind of want to help somebody who's listening to you, not somebody that's like constantly arguing about, hey, do this. Why? Why do I need to do that? I want to do this thing over here. Have you ever heard anything? Anybody do that? People, kind of like combating everything you say. Say something, they like, why? Why should I? I don't want to do that.
Young children do that a lot. Young children. You tell them something, they say, why? Say, explain why. They go, why?
Okay. What else from chapter 2?
I just find it that if someone older than a young child is doing that, then it's a sign of immaturity to me.
It's a sign of immaturity.
Yes. If they don't stop to think about what they're saying and just question everything. Come up with... You can ask questions, which is good, but come up with constructive questions. Not just why. Anyway, it's not related. But...
Maybe there's something to think about when it comes to how Esther operated in this society, because she's not from there. She's from somewhere else, right? They imported her to this place, and she had to learn the rules, learn how things work, and make her way around, right?
Yes.
So she seemed to do that well, winning the favor of everyone by listening to their input and kind of...
I just assume being humble, because that would definitely motivate the people.
I don't know. Maybe.
Anyway, that's basically the first chapter. Also, end was talking about Mordecai overheard Bigthana and Teresh, king's officers, who were trying to assassinate King Xerxes.
Was that in this chapter?
Yes.
Oh, yeah, right, the end part. Right.
Mordecai found out the plot and told Queen Esther, who reported it to the king. And when the report was investigated, the two, Bigthana and Teresh, were impaled on poles.
They were impaled?
Yes. What does yours say? Oh, you're the same translation.
Does it say that they were impaled on a pole?
Impaled on poles.
Okay, so what does impaling mean?
What do you mean? It's such a simple word. Do you know what impaling means? It just means you just skewer them on a stick.
Skewer a person on a stick.
Basically.
Okay, so this...
It's like a big version of kebab.
This is, the two officials were hanged on a gallows.
Interesting.
So, they were hanged.
It says impaled on poles. The Hebrew word translated poles literally means tree or wooden object. The text refers to the common practice of impaling victims on wooden stakes. The Code of Hammurabi, an Assyrian law code, sometimes prescribed impaling as an actual method of execution. And the Assyrian king, can't read that word, bragged of how he impaled rebellious vassals. But more often, malefactors were executed by other methods. It has been demonstrated that the Persians practiced crucifixion. That the punishment spoken of here might refer to that practice, impaling people alive on wooden posts and allowing them to die of exposure.
Okay.
So hanging is quite different than impaling.
Yeah, you're right.
And also crucifixion. So 3 different things. Or it might mean, 3 different things. Crucifixion, impaling, and hanging. So I guess we don't know which one is the right one.
Yeah. Either way, they all involved a decision made by somebody else to kill them.
That's what execution is.
Forms of execution. Not like a suicidal thing.
Of course. But it didn't mention anything about suicide.
I know, but what I'm saying is, it's not like these two officers chose to die. They were...
Why would it say anything about that?
convicted.
Why would you bring up something that has no relation to what the thing says?
Because you pointed out that crucifixion, impaling, and hanging are different forms of execution. And so I'm just making a statement that, they were sentenced to death.
Yes, so death works.
No, that's how execution works.
Yes.
That's not how death works.
Yeah, that's what I.
Is that what you meant? Okay, so.
I don't think. Anyway, third chapter.
No, we're stopping here, Madeline. We're stopping here. Can you close that? Let's just.
I thought.
No,
we need to discuss.
No. Huh?
We need this to discuss.
Need what?
The Bible.
Madeline, you read it, right? We talked about it. You don't have to stare at it and like.
Pieces.
No.
What?
Close it, Madeline.
Isn't that what you're supposed to do?
It's called retention. You know, how much do you remember?
We need to look stuff up.
Okay, you can look it up. You can look it up if you need to, but I don't think you need to, right? We just went over it. So, I mean, because you like, okay.
Well, I like to be pretty accurate.
Do you? Okay, so now that the book is over there, you can get in there if you need to. Okay. But okay, we just went over chapter 2, right? We went over chapter 2 and did a little derail to talk about David and Bathsheba, and then we back to chapter 2. But all right, so final thoughts, questions, things to consider for people as they have also, maybe you've also read Esther chapter 2.
Yeah.
We're doing a wrap up, Madeline.
Yep. It's a pretty didn't have a lot of action in that chapter, but you know, it's just kind of introducing the stage. There's some more things I want to talk about in some other chapters. I think that chapter's pretty short. We could do another one, but yeah, it's just. I wonder what the queen was for. If she was just an escort, basically. Did she do anything?
You mean the traditional role of a queen in that time?
In other empires, the queen did do things. But it's here, it sounds like she's not there for much.
You're shaking the camera. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. But the Queen Esther did do a lot, though, within her role.
Well, it doesn't talk about any of her other things she did.
No,
but
you're right.
Just this one thing where she spoke against the king's favorite people.
Well, we haven't gotten to that yet, but
oh yeah, spoilers.
So far, well, I don't know. If you think about your life, right, or my life,
it's just taking the highlights of everything. You can't put a whole person's life in a little book like that.
True, maybe that's it, but also maybe it could be that maybe these big things that you're looking for, that it didn't have a lot of action. You said, you know.
Well, I didn't say it had to. I didn't say it didn't have a lot of just, you know.
But
stuff.
She made choices, little choices within that time.
She had to stand out somehow to get picked.
Yeah, I mean, like,
yeah.
I guess that's my point. Is
I feel like we should re-record this video.
No, we're not.
Slamming doors.
No.
People popping in the windows.
No. All right, last sentence to wrap up this chapter. What I'm getting out of this is, you know, maybe you can't control many things in life. Maybe she didn't ask to be one of the ones that could be selected to be the queen.
Sure she didn't. They're all just
we don't know. I'm assuming that they were just chosen out of from wherever they were, and like you. And so maybe some things in life you won't have control over. They sort of happen to you. But even within that, maybe you do or can have a little choice within wherever you are.
They'll have consequences. Remember that. Unfortunately.
Yeah, and the consequences of her choices were good, because she listened to the advice of the people that were in charge of her. Maybe there's something to think about.
Unfortunately, Bathsheba didn't have a choice. she did have someone to lose. If David became upset with Bathsheba, he would probably kill her husband or her. But he killed her husband anyway, so it's pretty horrible.
Well, if you want to talk about that, well, Queen Vashti could have been killed instantly when she refused.
Yeah.
We don't know. Like, when you make a choice, you don't know in advance how it's going to turn out.
I feel like women weren't put to death as often as men in the Bible.
Again, like you said, the Bible doesn't record every
Yeah.
single thing that
You're right.
happened. You know, there was a lot that happened that's not recorded in those pages. You should probably get more rest.
No.
Because, you know, like you're yawning like crazy.
No. Alright, is that all for the wrap up?
I mean, I'm just looking at it, I'm wondering, are you okay? Do you need some rest?
These people aren't here to talk
You
about
need some
sleep.
rest? What time do you go to bed at night?
Thank you for joining us on our second episode talking about Esther chapter 2. I promise next time we'll go over more than one chapter. Yep.
Bagels Without Holes. That's the title. Just
Bye.
Without
Thank you
Holes.
for joining. Thank you very much.
Bagels.